I'm in the freaking Hall of Fame. I never thought I would be in a Hall of Fame. I guess that just never really crossed my mind. I mean, I know I've played a lot of sports, but to be recognized as being a part of the 2000 WAC championship with UTEP minors or college, man, I'm a Hall of Famer. Now here's what I really love, and I want to pay respect to all the guys that really busted their butt that year. You know, I was a redshirt freshman that year. I got to be on that team, and I'll even take it back to when I got recruited by UTEP. I'd never heard of the University of Texas in El Paso. I remember getting a pamphlet and seeing like cactus and rocks, and the campus looked really cool, and I was like, where's El Paso? Is there really a football team out there? That was my thought process. And one of the coaches, I remember Coach Lorenzo Constantini, came down to my house, and God, he was such a good dude, and we were talking with my dad, and you know, my dad really liked Lorenzo, and so I only took a trip there to North Texas. Those are the only two trips that I wanted to go on. There was others that asked, and I was like, nah, because UTEP was my very first trip. And what I loved about UTEP versus North Texas was in Denton, just north of Dallas, and all the guys there were just, you know, it was an okay time. You know, we went to the racetrack up there, and the guys weren't really hanging out with each other. And I got to see that because I went to UTEP first. When I got to UTEP, there was a feeling around these guys. There was a love, there was a respect. Maybe it's because you're out here in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there's really nowhere else to go. There's not a big city near you. And so really, I think the gel happened with all those guys, because I remember we went to like the first party that night, and all these guys lived in this apartment complex, and it was like all the backs of their apartments kind of opened up, and everybody, it was a party in every single room. Everybody was having a great time. Everybody liked each other. Everybody knew each other. They really gelled with each other, and that is what just made me say, you know what? There's something about this group of guys that I want to be a part of. There was just something about it. They had a massive respect for each other. And so sure enough, when I went to go play, that's what it was. You know, my freshman year, I got to see these guys really just ball out. I got to learn from these guys. I was mentored. I remember Trey Merkins, he played here in San Antonio, Texas, Clark High School. I was even talking to him because he was going to be a senior. He was a senior, I should say, my freshman year. And I just remember Trey, he's big, he's a beast, he'll kick your butt. Okay, he's one of those guys. And I just remember him saying, Jonas, you're from Texas. If anybody messes with you, I got you. And it just made me feel so like, hey, I got a whole gang of guys around me. Like, I don't have to do anything myself. I don't have to be fearful. I don't have to worry about it, because all these guys had my back. Everybody wanted to take you right under their wings, so that way we could really go out and accomplish the goals that we wanted to accomplish within football. But it's really getting with all those guys and understanding who it is that they were, and seeing their work ethic. Telling them, hey, you know, Jonas, you know, go do this. Jonas, go do that. Teaching me really how to be a better man, and teaching me how to be a better athlete. You know, I always kind of say, first, we were all friends. It was a big group. It was a big camaraderie out there. You know, we even took one of my good friends and best friends with my older brother, but he loves football and he's always out there, Brian Salinas. And when Brian goes out there, you know, we came back, he's like, Jonas, man, all those guys were just good guys, man. Like, all y'all got to hang out, and you know, he got to see it from a third party perspective. He's like, every single dude there was a good dude. Like, everybody was having a good time. And I said, man, that's exactly how it was when I was there. That's what made me want to go to that college, because there was just something special about this group of guys. And when you can get a group of people and something special happens, we can move mountains together. But it's people have to understand each other and have to get each other's backs. Too many times we're too competitive. We talk too much trash about somebody else, as opposed to really putting them under your wings, so that way you can get them to work with you, not against you. And what we got to see that year, you know, in 2000, is we won the WAC championship, the Western Athletic Conference championship. It was one of the sweetest things, because it was my freshman year, and we got to see what it was really like to have those guys go on and really ball out. We got to see highlight reel after highlight reel after highlight reel. Lee Mays got inducted by himself into the Hall of Fame, an amazing receiver for us. He went and played several years with the Pittsburgh Steelers, has a Super Bowl ring with them. So it's really cool to see Lee, you know, take his life to that next level after UTEP. But what I really learned from those guys was I just learned how to be a better athlete. I learned how to be just better in character, because the next 3 years after that, it was down in the dumps, down in the dumps, down in the dumps. You know, coaching changes happened, this, that, and the other. But I remembered my senior year, and I will give them 1,000% credit for what we did our senior year. My senior year, we went back to a bowl game. We were at the top of the conference again. That's when I got to go do everything that I needed to do. But I look back and say I learned it from these guys in the class of 2000. They're the ones who taught me how to go out there and be a beast on the football field. So my senior year, I'll even tell you this kind of story as I go back to my freshman year as I was playing. playing, because I was a redshirt freshman that year. My freshman year as I was playing, we went and played Alabama, the University of Alabama. Everybody knows the Crimson Tide. They will beat your butt. We're just walking. It was walkthroughs. We're looking around and you see the Ring of Honor. You see Coach Paul Bear Bryant. You see all these names in the Ring of Honor. And I remember that feeling. That feeling of that these guys were scared because all those seniors left. And as I'm looking into all these players' eyes before the game, you kind of have that camaraderie. Everything that I felt from the class before, I'm looking back at these guys and they look like a deer in headlights. They looked lost. It looked like they were trying to play the 80,000 fans in Alabama as opposed to playing that guy in front of them. Because I just remember I was looking in their eyes and it just didn't look right. And sure enough, Alabama beat the heck out of us. There was something different that happened as we fast forward to the senior year. As I remember, we're playing teams, and I remember looking at these guys' eyes. Now they look to me as the leader, because I was the senior, and seeing those guys as they stared right back at me saying, Jonas, we're ready. Jonas, we got your back, because Jonas, we know you're gonna go out there and lead this team to another victory. There's that sense of feeling when guys come together and really understand. And so understanding what those guys were able to create in 2000, seeing how there wasn't maturity in the rest of the teams that were happening. There were some great guys, great talent on that team, but it wasn't a team game. My senior year, when we did that, just seeing these guys and knowing that feeling, when we went out to a football field, there was no doubt in our mind that we were going to win. There was no doubt in our mind that I was gonna fight for the guy right next to me. Likewise, he was for me. There was no doubt in our minds. And the saying goes, the game is already won before it's ever played, right? If you go back to Sun Tzu's Art of War, the battle is already won before it is even fought. Same thing in football, same thing in business. The battle is already won before it is ever fought. Think about that in your personal life. Think about that in your business life. Think about that with your relationships. Are you winning? Do you have the mindset to win? Are you with those people that have your back and that you have their back? Whether it's business, whether it's relationships, whether it's family. Sometimes families don't understand how to necessarily gel. And I'm not saying stay away from family or stay away from relationships, but understand how to help everybody create that gel so that way we can all get better together and as a team. I just want to thank all those guys from the class of 2000. What they did for me, what they did for us, what they did for the university, put us on the map. I can't say enough about Rocky Perez, came right here to Holmes High School. Trey Merkins, Trey Darslick, O-line, from Lee. There were so many. Brian Natkin, he was a tight end before me. Brian Natkin went on to make several awards as a tight end. Churchill, he's now coaching with the Arizona Cardinals. There's so many guys that were on that team that just did so many great things. And I just want to thank them for helping me get into the Hall of Fame at the University of Texas at El Paso. And I really hope that our senior year, something kind of comes about with that, because we deserve to be in that Hall of Fame as well. And I'd love to be a part of two teams that are in the Hall of Fame. But I give all credit, all kudos to that class of 2000 team for winning the WAC championship, because they did it. Being there and understanding who I am now and seeing what we accomplished 21 years ago, it's one of the coolest things to go, this is who I am today. Those little breadcrumbs made me who I am today, as you just keep learning and learning as the time goes on. So many times we want to be a professional right off the gates. Oh, I'm starting a new business. Oh, I'm starting this, I'm starting that. And you want to go out and be a professional. You can't be a professional immediately. You have to learn. You have to fail time and time again. And all those guys talked about them failing for their first 3 years that they were there. Finally, everything clicked their senior year. So don't be afraid to fail. Go out and fail. If you can fail forward, you will continue to win. If you think of the best movies that are out there, they don't go, oh, I was great, I'm still great, and guess what? At the end of the movie, I'm great. Nobody would ever watch that movie. What we love watching is we love watching an underdog story. We love learning about somebody. We love seeing the pain. We love seeing the failure that goes through. We love seeing how they fall on their face, but what really drives us is how they get back up and how they create the victory for themselves. Do you have pain in your life? If not, maybe you're not trying hard enough. Maybe you're in the cool zone, not creating the pain that you need, not trying to fail purposely because you want to create something bigger. You'll never go and create it time and time and time again right off the bat. Go fail a few times. Go learn how to fail. Go pick yourself back up, dust everything off, and then go succeed again. Because I can say, we won, we failed my first 3 years, or my second 3 years, and then our senior year, we won again. So I got to see that story really take place, and that's what really livens up my heart. What are you doing to go get better at? Are you failing? Have you learned how to fail? Have you learned how to take constructive criticism? Have you learned how to get better? That's the story of your life. That's what people want to see. Can you be on the big screen? Can your story be on the big screen? Or are you too afraid to go out and reach for something different and not create that Cinderella story for yourself? So to all the guys for the UTEP 2000 WAC championship team, I want to say thank y'all so much. I'm in the Hall of Fame now. That's one of the coolest things. So guys, Coach Kraft's coming at you. As always, like I learned from those guys, get your mind right.